Hello friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and we are going to have a productive day. It's a Monday, and the best way for me to have a productive Monday is to have a well-rested Sunday. So if you don't know what I did on Sunday, actually I filmed this right after another video that I did, which is 2 weeks ago, I think. I will link that up above in the cards. I'm not quite sure how I titled it yet because I haven't even edited it yet. But in that video, I was just having like a lazy type of weekend. And I don't normally have an entirely lazy weekend. I don't normally take this much time off on the weekend. But one thing I do is on Sundays, I always try to make sure that I get some quality resting time. We have church in the morning, and then in the afternoon, on rare occasions, I will go on a bike ride with my parents because my dad is big into bike riding. But most of the time, I like to read in the afternoon, sit out. I have this favorite spot underneath this tree. We just call it our sunroom tree to differentiate from, I guess, the other trees, which are primarily walnut trees in our yard. But anyways, the sunroom tree is my favorite spot to sit out and read. I just love it. It's so quiet, so peaceful. You hear the birds. I did, however, have an ant crawl in my pocket that day, and that was a little bit of a fiasco, but that's okay. We got it taken care of. And another thing I was working on this weekend, which I don't always do, but one of my favorite pastimes to do is to do a puzzle. And it's just such a different pace for me. I just love doing it. I don't know why exactly. This was a 2,000 piece puzzle. So she was quite intense, but it is very relaxing for me. I can do it watching or listening to YouTube videos in the background, or I could just do it, quietly. I enjoy it either way, and I have done a mix of either way. I currently still have the puzzle up. She's almost finished. I would say she's about 2/3 of the way finished, and I think I can wrap it up pretty fast, I'm hoping. But we have some things that we need to accomplish today because I did take the weekend off. I didn't do much of anything. I have a lot of work to do, a lot of editing stuff to do, and I also have housework to do. So there are things that I need to accomplish and tackle. But first, the most important thing is, it is this little guy, Elmo's 15th birthday. It is June 1st, actually, when I'm filming this. I know you guys are seeing this several weeks later, but it is June 1st. And while I don't know his exact birthday, this is just when we celebrate it. And I'm so happy to have you here for 15 years, baby. Good boy. We've had a rough year this past year. There've been some really low times, some really scary times, but there's also been some really good times. And I'm also having like a new awareness, a new thankfulness for each and every day that I get with him. And I'm so thankful to have him here. You're a good boy. I did already actually pick up something while I went out to the gym earlier. Did I say that I went to the gym? I think I showed that earlier in the video. But I did pick up something at the store for his birthday, a little toy. I had meant to pick it up earlier, but forgot. We also have had something else come up this week, or weekend, I should say, that's kind of just going to take a little time out of the rest of the day a bit. So I do have a client yet that I need to go to. My dog, Elmo, apparently sees someone walking out that direction. So excuse that, I apologize. He likes to let me know what's going on out there. All right, I need to quit talking. I need to make myself some breakfast because I need to fuel myself for today. And then let's get going with what we can accomplish. Does the birthday boy want a little eggie? Your birthday boy want a little eggie? Here you go. Good boy. All right, so I have my favorite egg and avocado toast breakfast. I'm just on a streak with that. I don't have it all the time, but I feel like you guys see me have this breakfast probably more than anything, but I just love it. It's so good. I will say my sourdough this was the first time I had like a flop of a sourdough, but it's still very edible. It's still delicious. It just didn't really rise. Like initially, after I had mixed it all together, it seemed okay. And then when I went to do the stretch and folds, I realized this is really liquid. Like feels like a lot of moisture, a lot of water content in it. And I rethought over and over in my head. I'm like, no, I think I had all the right measurements. I'm like, can I even go in and add any more flour at this point? I probably could have, but I didn't. I thought, sometimes as I do the stretch and folds, it dries out a little bit, or the consistency kind of gets to a nicer consistency, something I'm more used to, but it didn't. And then when I baked it up, it initially rose, and then it kind of went back down again as it cooled and everything. And it's okay. It tastes fine. Like I said, it just isn't what it's supposed to be. And if you see this weird lighting here, it's because the sun is really coming in from this window, but I absolutely love it. I love the sunshine. So I'm going to enjoy this and the sunshine while I'm having my breakfast.
into firmament, woven, bound eternal in symmetry, somehow a part of me, ageless flame, oldest friend.
You know what drives me crazy? Is hairs that are not attached to the being they belong to.
What a mystery, this harmony. Formed before time, immaculate design. One with the divine, immaculate design. It's a miracle to be alive.
Alright, I am going to be making some of my breakfast oat muffins, and usually I do like a chocolate chip flavor or sometimes a blueberry or cranberry flavor. Those are my most common ones. Chocolate chip by far though is the one I do the most. But I am doing the baked apples. I had 2 Granny Smith apples that I just wasn't using, so I cooked those up on the stove top. They are cooling. I just cooked them in some like butter, some brown sugar, some cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, ginger. There was a recipe I had online. It was like for overnight oats, actually, was what I did for those, and I'm going to incorporate them in these muffins, and I think that'll be really good. I do like overnight oats. I could do it in that, but I just need some more of these too. So I've made this recipe so much that I pretty much have it memorized. Every once in a while I have to look back for like the baking powder and the salt measurements and even the cinnamon, but I know it pretty darn good.
Bend an ear to every stone. Pure intention is carried on. Tinsel threaded through.
Okay, the apples did add a little extra moisture to the batch, so I went in with a little bit more oats, just eyeballing it. I think we're in a good spot here now. Usually this makes a dozen, but it's probably going to make more since, like I said, there was a little extra moisture to it, so I also added extra oats. All right, while those muffins are in the oven, I am going to work on my puzzle for about 15 minutes because, you know, part of this productive day is also taking some time to yourself as well. And like I said, I already did the dishes, so that's what took up part of that time, but 15 more minutes approximately left. All right, so a little bit of an update. I know this lighting isn't the best, but I did pull the muffins out of the oven and they look and smell fantastic. I will definitely show those to you when I get back home, and I will leave the recipes linked down below. I say recipes because I used the basic oat muffin base or breakfast muffin. I forget what it's called exactly, but I used that base for it, and then I just added the recipe for the overnight oats, the apples, like the baked apple portion of it. So I'll link both of those down below in the description. Just hit the more button, and if I forget to do that, because I have been known to do that, just remind me, please. But anyways, we had to step out for a bit. We had some issues with my husband's car, so we were at 2 different places trying to get things worked out with that, and I am going to be working on my computer a little bit. This is not where I expected to be doing some work, but I'm thankful I have the flexibility to do that. And so I could go inside, but I forgot my earbuds, and I just feel self-conscious trying to edit a video. Like, no one wants to hear that really as you're going. So it's just gonna be easier to do it out here in the car. Thankfully, it's not too terribly hot. It's actually really not hot at all. And these people just parked over here and are watching me talk to myself. So I think I better quit now for a while. All right, so I have the oat muffins here. They have been cooling for a while because, like I said, I had to leave the house earlier. So I'm gonna pick this like kind of Whopper jawed one. I kind of smashed him in as I was trying to pull it out earlier. Can you guys see that? There, that's the oat muffin. And let's just go ahead and bite into this and see how it is. I'll have probably half of this and I'll let my husband have the other half. That's more moist than I'm used to for these muffins, but I think it's because, like I said, there was extra moisture content, like a syrupy, I don't know, like that cinnamon, nutmeg, all that goo, the butter and glaze and stuff like that. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm doing a really poor job describing that. But there's extra of that, and I think maybe I could have stood to add even a little bit more of the oats to it to counteract it. But it tastes great. It's just the texture isn't quite what I want. But if you follow a regular recipe for any of the other flavors, they turn out fantastic either way. So that's my thoughts on it. Oh, no. Shoot. I'm going to start all over editing that video. Dang nabbit. All right, my friends, I think I'm just going to wrap this vlog up here. I really enjoyed you coming along with me, having a productive day. I just wanted to say, I feel like truly what makes my beginning of the week so productive, what helps me be the most productive, is when I take a day of rest. Now this weekend I took a little bit more than just one day of rest. I kind of extended that out, but that's not something that normally happens. Like I said, usually it is Sunday is the day of rest for me. In the Bible, I'm not exactly sure where, but it says man was not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath was made for man. Now I'm not a theologian, but the way that I understand that when God created the earth in 6 days and everything that was in it, and he rested on the seventh day, it was the example to us. God didn't need to rest himself, but it was the example to us that resting is something that is key and important to us. So that is why I still choose to honor the Sabbath and resting in it in that way. There are times where I would love to catch up on things. I would love to work ahead a little bit on things, but I remind myself that no, the Lord will provide for me and will allow me to get things done as they need to be done if I truly trust him and rest in him. So that is the way I choose to look at it as a Christian, and I think it has helped tremendously. Like I said, I almost always feel motivated to begin my day. Actually, usually at the end of Sunday, I'm like, okay, I'm making my list. I do allow myself to kind of pre-plan a little bit for the week. I'm like, okay, I would like to do this and this and this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. So I'm gearing up. I'm getting excited to get back in the work routine after I've spent my downtime and everything like that. One other thing on a side tangent that I did want to point out. So I'm not sure exactly how this happened, but sometime over the weekend, you guys, I came across some poison ivy. Can you guys see that here? At first, I thought it was just from the hay, as you're carrying the bales and everything like that, it will scratch up your arms. And I did have some of that, but that's pretty well healed up. And I realized what I had been itching then was not the hay scratch marks. It was poison ivy. I don't know if it was in the hay stuff. I don't think so, but that was in the previous video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I helped my family bale hay, the previous vlog and everything like that. Haven't done it in years, but I was so excited to do it. The other option that could come from is we have a raspberry bush in our backyard, and I was weeding that some. And I know there is some poison ivy and poison oak in there, but I try to be very careful. I always try to be very careful, and I always seem to get it. So that's probably more than likely where I got it from, but I don't think it got on, I don't know. Anyways, I had the poison ivy. If you guys have any recommendations, let your girl know. So I will talk to you guys later. I'm so happy you decided to join me on this vlog. And until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye, my friends.